Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. Of course, a very quick one to fellow Nigerians around the world. If you observe closely and watch with keen interest, you will understand how our life has been and is still being constantly reshaped by some criminal-minded individuals, each of them perfecting the art of playing tribal cards, religion affiliation, blame game, blackmailing, instigating. They have perfected the art of causing confusion among over 1,000 ethnic communities just for them to live on the expense of others. Of course, the eras of the imperialists is gone. Let us agree that somehow they still influence our activities through proxy. But who is to be blamed when there is a lot of effort that has been made in time past for the complete liberation of Africans? And yet we allow the very edict in the Berlin Conference to sit preside over our life, because certain individuals still want to be worse than the imperialists, even in our daily lives. And this is Nigeria, where a lot of things are going on. We've been fighting war that is not of our choosing, because there are this cabal, these certain individuals who have mastered the art of imperialism. And so they dash it out to all of us. And then I'm going to hit Igbo man. Igbo man is going to be envious of me. And then Yoruba will be hating Hausa. And then Hausa now will look for who to hate. And then we've been doing the work of hating and hating. A life has never been better, but they have become richer. And now, you may not be able to understand how the game has been played, but our job here is to make sure you know the truth. And what you do the truth is entirely left for you. There should have been no need for Igbo man, Hausa man, Yoruba man to be quarreling. And now all of us are going to quarrel in the end of the day. And you see, fortunately, I call it fortunately, Benin is their problem. But they are not saying it. Let's continue. And so in Nigeria today, if you allow the Igbo man to express himself, they will destroy all of us. And now, we will not allow them. They are destroying themselves. Nemesis. Just January alone, if you know how many Igbos that have been slaughtered by Igbos, it will amaze you. A video was forwarded to me, a massacre in Oka, where some lunatic ran into a restaurant, shoot everybody they want to shoot. In fact, killed almost everybody there. Fellow Igbo killing Igbo. Imagine if they were to control our life. I tell you, by now, nobody will be in Nigeria again, except the few cabals in Igbo who are pulling the shots. And let's move forward. If you allow Yoruba to become in charge of Nigeria, believe me, they may be fair enough, but all of us will become Yoruba by force, as Igbo is forcing us to become Igbo. And then if you allow Hausa, and I know the first thing they will do, they will Islamize all of us. Not because everybody from Hausa is Islam, but some of you will not like it. But this is the reality at the end of the day. And so, some group of individuals, as you can see clearly, now want to bring down Tinubu. Because somewhere along the line, Tinubu is trying to give the power of Nigerians back to true self through that tax reform bill. And Hausa man wanted to remain that way. Not because he created the process that empowered them to feed on our misery as minority. That was the handwork of Igbo man, trying to rip all of us up. But the counter-Igbo coup, after Aguiyi-Ironsi shenanigan, did not allow Igbo to enjoy enjoyment Hausa have tasted, the Adan Sapo. And now this Hausa cabal, they want it to remain that way. But my people will say, when you are in a occasion where some people are served food to feed and others don't have anything to eat, my brother, if they have given you your own plate of food, don't eat. Because you see, those people, they did not give food, they will poison all of you. It's an adage in my place. Until everybody has their own share, whether big or small, don't eat. Those of you who go to party, you are hungry, they will poison you. And so in Nigeria, we've come in terms with this notion That every year we must go to the polling center and fight. It's Yoruba ton, it's Hausa ton, it's Igbo ton. Igbo are marginalized, Hausa are hated, Yoruba are And I ask, when are we going to sing this Agbo man ton? Or Agbo man are not Nigerians, they have lesser rights. When are we going to shout, he's Benin ton, he's Benin man, now lesser Nigeria, and actually has the lesser rights? Which year are we going to sing, it is Ijo man ton, it is Bibio man ton, it is Idoma man ton, it is Gwari man ton, it is Nupe man ton, it is But you see, the errors of this hopelessness is winding up. But this will not stop the confused states. We will constantly find ourselves as human beings, except we take notice of the order of life, the order of community. Because even in the absence of everything I have mentioned, if you do not take responsibility for anything you represent, you will be misplaced. And now that things are changing, and now that the truth is coming up, and now that there is another hope to see a better day for all Nigerians, everybody must stand up to the occasion. That is the essence of the work we are doing. And so it is not the hatred of anybody that drives us. It is making everybody to understand that the moment of impression is over and this is the time for reality. And what is the reality? That Nigerians should develop, get to this level of maturity where we look at the most progressive-minded individuals among us, intellectuals, true intellectual individuals, irrespective of their background, irrespective of their exposure, but people who certainly have the capacity to do what's necessary in order to put Nigeria on the track to greatness. There are things we are yearning for. There are things we are loving. These things will eventually destroy us if we are not careful. That era where we will stop looking at who is his father, because if you're careful enough to observe, it is the same group of people that have been ruling us since independence today. The same group of people. Their daughters and sons are now remarrying themselves. They are exchanging. They are building another dynasty, the emperor dynasty. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not an empire. It takes a president to rule a country. It takes a king to rule a kingdom. It takes an emperor to rule an empire. And this is not empire of anybody. But they are forming the dynasty of the emperors already without you knowing. And they are deceiving you with democracy, 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 democracy. And when all our lives are taken from us, even the Hausa will not be safe. The Yoruba will not be safe. The Igbos will not be safe. Because the notion that will control them thereafter will be, are you in the league? Are you in the league? Maybe you begin to understand the league of the extraordinary gentlemen. Are you among the league? Because they are now moving from tribalism, from nepotism, from religion, criminality. They are now shifting to another dimension. Do we call it cabarism? If you are not in the league, you will suffer. But maybe culture and tradition will make some people not to degrade themselves to that level. But what if we get there? You think Nigeria will be better? You think your wealth will save you? You think your connection with the imperialist nation will protect you? Some of you will wish you never lived. But we cannot be having such dreams for our world. Humanity should not be thinking in this direction. We understand this order. Let everybody operate on the level where he belongs, having in mind the overall interest of everybody. At the end of the day, there is no competition in the jungle, and I'm sure the goat is not dreaming to become the lion. Neither does the lion want to become the elephant. Everybody has respected a natural border, except Homo sapiens. And trying to cross their border is not the issue, but on the expense of order. Let me digress so you get it. My message, true message in this broadcast may not be more than 30 minutes. As a free moral agent, you exploit is welcome. But when it is done on the expense of others, when we live in a world where there are companies poisoning food to export to other countries, to depopulate them without their knowledge, because they're playing God. And we know. And we pretend it's okay. And people like Africa, we have something like Standard Organization of Nigeria. We have something like NAFDAC, Drug and Food, whatever. We have different organizations supposing to protect our life in that art form, in that platform. But are they doing that? Ordinary electronics. You cannot take your electronics, your toy, into the UK without approval, without proper review. You can't do that. If the UK, the British will not allow you to bring common electronics into their country without their endorsement, is it food you are going to supply them? Not to talk of China, not to talk of Japan. These people are so strict that even some of their products is not allowed to leave their country. If you want to use it, come to their country and use it. And this is the level of development they have gone to. And it would have been better humanity share this development. But they keep it to themselves. And they subchange the rest of humanity. And these same people will tell you, the World Health Organization, they are taking care of your health. These human rights activists, they are fighting for your human rights. But the real aspect of life that will give you health, the true revelation that will protect human rights, all of them have been violated by the same people. But this are knowledge that may be too high for you to understand. And so in Nigeria, we may get to a stage where a group of Nigerians will poison food and send it to another region. We have gotten to a stage where you go around Nigeria, even police station. There are particular tribes you cannot arrest and lock up in Nigerian police station. We've been there. And may God be with you that you are a minority. Nobody will speak for you. But this is Nigeria. And now, I'm not dwelling on the negativity, because this is exactly what some people want. As I come here, I tell you, Nigeria is useless. Nigeria is a criminal country. No. Nigeria is simply diamond in the neck of a pig. Wonderful nation. Okay, we are back. We're back. That's what they do. We are not going anywhere. And so, like I was saying, it would have been preferable to most Nigerians that as I come here, I tell you, no, Nigeria is a useless country. Nigeria is a criminal country. Nigeria is nothing like that. Nigeria is a home to one of the most sincere group of ethnic groups humanity, the world has ever known. Nigeria is a very great country. But of course, as a choosing nation, we need to visit the length and the breadth of the universe. And that is the journey we are going through. But then, some ethnic groups may not be there again if we are not careful. This is where our concern comes in. And so, if you look at my topic this morning, how I wish I could present it in my dialects, I would have been doing that. But unfortunately, more than 50% of my Abo people cannot speak Abo anymore. And the remaining 50% that can manage to speak Abo, they now speak half Igbo, half Abo. And then the few who know how to, the remaining 25% that can speak Abo, half of them, let us say 15 of them, are speaking Abo with English. And the remaining 10 that can actually speak Abo without adding English, hardly talk. Maybe they are aged. Maybe they are too shy to speak Abo. And so I will not left them behind. But I appeal to them, Abo people. My work is mainly for you first of all. But if you fail to tap and harness what is in my message, others that are listening will take it and they will undo you. And we will not blame anybody at that time. Our children and the next generation of our people will blame us. They will blame you because you had this warning and you did not do anything. And this having been said, the topic is simple this morning. I have tried to be pointing out to you since the beginning of this year about the four orders that control every community at every level, from hamlet or settlement down to the global community. Community is run or engineered by four orders. I will constantly repeat it so that you will understand. The order of the monarch, the leadership order, the order of the custodian, the teacher's order, the order of the merchandise, the buying and selling order, and the order of the slave, the four foundations of every community. And like I constantly say, because of those who do not have access to previous broadcast, these four orders must be there, but you can switch your position. As somebody born in the order of slave, you can upgrade to the order of merchandise, or to the orders of the custodian, or to the order of the monarch. All fingers are not equal, but the role you play will determine where you belong to. And wherever you find yourself, please embrace it, because nobody is actually bigger than anybody. Look at it. All fingers are not equal, but in the absence of one finger, you will have problem. And so if you are the smallest finger, there is a time you will enter where big finger will not enter. And if you are the shortest finger, believe me, you have the more strength. You communicate even more than other fingers. You alone as the shortest finger communicate more than others. And so you don't need to feel bad about that. And so if I were to be born in the order of the slaves, because it has something like derogated name, does not make you lesser than the king. Because in the absence of the slave, you cannot recognize the king. And the amazing thing there is that the most influential among them are the orders of the merchandise. But the most dangerous one you should fear is the order of the custodians. Let me not go deeper there. But I'm trying to deal with the order of the merchandise, which are the major influence almost in everything that we do as a people. And it is what they do that give credibility or discredit our level of development at every given instance. And most of us ignorantly have been reprogrammed, negatively informed to ignore the order of the merchandise. And little do you know that the merchandise actually are the streamlight connecting the slaves, the custodians, and the monarch. And that is where we are continuing today, talking about ensuring our survival. We must tap into the order of the merchandise, because we can actually function as merchandise even when we are not of that order. Let me break it down so that you will understand. If you go to the Bible, for instance, and Apostle Paul somewhere in Ephesians was telling the church, he said, for it is he who gave some to become pastors, teachers, apostles, prophets, evangelists, the military gift. The essence of this gift were for the edification of the body of Christ. Though somewhere along the line, it tried to classify the apostle as being the highest in order of authority, because they are the one that have the blueprint of the church. And then you could talk about the prophets, those who had the ability to reveal the mind of God. You could talk about the pastors who are shepherds. And then you could talk about the evangelists who have the ability to divide the word of God to suit every situation and circumstance. Now, understand, all these military gifts, there is no one that can succeed without another. There is nobody that is born pastor, prophet. You can choose to be all of them. You can choose to be single one, depending on your calling. That is exactly the replica of these four orders we are talking about. And if you see the order of Christianity, you have the teachers. They are the one that can divinely inspire, divide the word of God, reveal the word of God, dispute it to the word of God. And you see, teachers are not recognized, but teachers are very dangerous, very useful. Respect them. Now, coming back to the point I want you to see, focusing on the order of the merchandise. Most of you can move to any order you want, but it is your work that will prove it. And so the merchandise are those who are responsible of making money, business. You see the name, business. All they do is they think. They sit down and think how to buy. If Nigerians have 1,000 naira in circulation, 500 naira is in the government coffer. Listen, so that you understand how they function. If Nigeria, as we speak, have 1,000 naira, 500 naira is in the coffer of those in authority. Because every policy they pass, every decree they may pass, every request, they can retrieve 50% of all the money in circulation in less than 24 hours. That is why I said, out of the 1,000 in circulation, for instance, 500 is in their control. And in the case of Nigeria, the remaining 500, do you know the people who are holding 300 naira, or 300 rather? It is the millionaires. That millionaire run across every ethnic groups. We can begin to name them. People like Adenuga, people like Dangote, the millionaire, all these rich politicians, people like Tinubu them, Buhari them, and remaining 200. And so it is 200 that is left for the overall masses to exchange, means of exchange. And this 200 that is left, I can tell you that Igbo people are holding 100 naira. 100 out of the 1,000. And so the rest of Nigeria, still including the Igbo, are trying to share the remaining 100 naira. And so we have Igbo millionaires, as we have Yoruba, Hausa, and other ethnic group millionaires. Their own is a plus to their ethnic group, to their village, to their community. And now the Igbo man has already hijacked 100 naira for themselves because they operate on the order of the merchandise. These are the truths you do not know before. And so it is the remaining 100 naira, all of us, including the millionaire, the rich, the poor, including all of us, those that have taken lion's share, all of us now have to drag the circulation of 100 naira. And so almost an average Igbo man have access to nothing less than 50 naira on the expense or above every average Nigerian. That is why they have this notion that they are the richest tribe, they are the most intelligent tribe, and we somehow mock them. They are doing buying and selling, but they are controlling the order of the merchandise. Maybe you begin to get it. So how do they do it? They look for what you don't have and they bring it to you and sell to you. They could come making it affordable just to get you acquainted with that product. They will sustain it until you cannot do without the product. And let me tell you one bitter truth. If Igbo people pull out of the order of merchandise as we speak, it's going to take Nigeria even 10 years to recover. That is why I tell my brothers, my Bini brothers, you should, when you say importer and exporter, I've never seen Yoruba person or Bini person or Hausa person he's coming to say I'm an importer and exporter. It's Igbo people that are always saying it, and this is the truth. Because they are the one that know the true mindset behind the merchandise. Of course, a lot of Bini people are doing importing and exportation. It's just to meet up. It's just, normal thing now. You got to work to make money. But to them, they do not understand how the order of merchandise operates. I pray God will open their eyes. And so when our man goes abroad, he waits when he's coming, he imports some things he will enjoy, and then sell the rest, share for family member. When Bini man goes abroad, he does the same thing. When Hausa Yoruba go, they does the same thing. But when Igbo man gets there, he send his brother back home. He be looking for motor pass. He be destroying, buying and selling and sending them, and they will be giving us. Is it not a shame that we have to from Benin and go and look for motor pass in Onitsha, where we have enough population of people in Benin in diaspora, because you do not understand the order of the merchandise? As Abo man, is it not a shame that you have to move from Abo and go to Onitsha or Chanja market to buy products? But of course, you were ignorant. And I don't want you to be ignorant anymore. And so this order of the merchandise, they study what you need. They study things that are important to you. If they cannot do normal cash exchange, they will do trade by barter. And before you know, they capitalize on supplying you your daily needs, which in exchange will make you to give them those things you think you don't need them. That is how they buy your land. That is how they buy your land. If you are from Abo, go to Abo, you will see that in the Nakpapo Alenyi. My requebe in Rakore well. No sharp when I only remember Big Short. They look low area bondi bengoni guala. When the men were Bialiono, Wadi Asane Kalini in less than 1 month, because they understand the order of the merchandise, they buy everything. And somewhere you think it's so convenient to insult them and but it is their greed that will destroy them. It's okay. In that order, they master the arts of the order of the merchandise. And I do not condemn them for that. But I'm begging the rest of the ethnic groups in Nigeria, most especially the ones they call minority. If you do not take authority, if you do not stand up to the occasion to influence the order of the merchandise in your community, you will be gone. The government will be the only people that will rescue you. And they will only rescue you when it comes to their hunt. If not, a lot of ethnic groups are gone already. If Nigerians want to be true to Nigerians, I will appeal to somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu to set up a commission. Let them begin to look at the ethnic groups that have been swept under the carpet of politics. These ethnic groups may be very small, but yet in themselves they are powerful. There are a lot of things they would have been able to do to enhance the progress of Nigeria. But we have destroyed them politically, and so they don't exist. I was listening to a girl talking on social media. He said their village is almost wiped out. And each time we want to talk about their village, people say, where is this one? Where are you calling? And there are a lot of communities there. You see them as a missionary. That should be in the early 90s. We went to a mission field somewhere in Adamawa State. They call it Mobi Hill. And how many Nigerians will believe that there are tribes in Mobi Hill, Adamawa State, where they are still naked? As of 90s, when we entered the community, the people there were naked. The system of life there is amazing. We couldn't believe it. They don't get married as you get married here. They rent their wives, their daughters. Daughter remain a permanent property of any man. And so when you need a woman, you go and hire a woman. In Nigeria here, in Adamawa State, in the 90s, and I've not been there for some time, and I'm sure they are still naked, majority of them. We mobilize some ministers, send them back to liberate their people, but that was their culture. This is who they are, just that the world left them behind. And if you see their strength of character, you will begin to question your educational background, because everything they believed, they protect it with dignity. And I'm sure when you say there are people known as the Mobi Hill people, I'm sure your politician in the House of Rep don't know. And as of the time we saw these very people, primitive Nigerians, if I will use the word, and I'm sure even my bishop, who is that very exposed, would not have believed that there are people there. It becomes a misery when we are in TikTok claiming rubbish. Among us are still human beings living like primitives. But we are one Nigeria, giant of Africa. And if Nigeria will have such people, you have no idea the kind of human being you're going to see in different forests around Africa. But what am I saying? Each of us were uniquely prepared for this journey on earth. But then, in the ignorance of many of us, we are disappearing. We are being moved away. Because we ignore these orders. And this broadcast is just calling the people of South most especially. You must influence the order of the merchandise. If you don't know how to do it, learn from the Igbo people. Not because they created that process. Somebody told them the truth. They capitalized on it. And today, I can tell you, without missing words, that almost 45% of all the money in circulation in Nigeria belong to the Igbos. And yet, they've not gone to the corridor of leadership. And if they get there, you will understand the true meaning of Pharaoh is Egypt, and Egypt is Pharaoh. And who do you blame? Let me digress before I break the camel's back. Joseph had a dream that there will be famine for 7 years in the land of Egypt. He communicated this dream to Pharaoh, and that there was need to preserve food for 7 years of bountiful harvest in order to sustain them in the next 70 years thereafter, 7 years thereafter of famine. And Pharaoh said, if God give you this revelation, I think you are the best person to help us carry out this plan. And Joseph began to build storehouses, storage facility on how to preserve food according to the Bible for 7 years of bountiful harvest. Now, Joseph was not a workman there. Joseph was not a carpenter. He was not a bricklayer. He gave order through inspiration. It was fellow Egyptians who built all this storage facility. It was fellow Egyptians who did this farming in that 7 years of bountiful. It was fellow Egyptians who loaded this storehouse for Pharaoh and for the overall interest of the people in these 7 years of bountiful. But here is where I want you to get involved. These people, in that 7 years of bountiful harvest, would have copied Joseph's idea and go to their individual community and begin to build their own storage. If they have done that, in that 7 years of famine, what would have happened is that, based on their capacity, if their food could not carry them that long 7 years, before they would have sold their goods, their sheep, some of their properties, the 7 years of famine would have elapsed. But all of them were relaxing. Joseph is doing the work for all of us. My brother, there is a difference between my own and our own. And so when the game started of famine, the first year, Pharaoh dashed them food. The food dropped drastically. And they said, we can't continue like this. We have to sell it. And they start selling it. The people bought food till nothing to use for exchange again. They concluded by saying that, since I have collected all your house to give you food, I've collected all your children to give you food, I've collected everything that you have to give you food, yet you don't have anything to give me. Now let's conclude this way. I own all of you. Pharaoh say, I own Egypt. Do you people agree? They say yes. He said, begin to feed them. And you will see the slogans of the pharaohs in the time of Moses or whatever leader, Pharaoh that ruled Egypt. You will see they greet the Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh is Egypt and Egypt is Pharaoh. Ironically, Pharaoh owns Egypt completely. And now I ask you, during that 7 years of bountiful rain of food, what were the rest Egyptians doing? They were spectators. Niger Delta people, you are spectators. You are jumping up and down. We have oil, our oil, our oil. Remember, it's not your oil. It is our oil. Every Nigeria oil, Osa oil, Yoruba oil, Igbo oil, our oil. You are jumping up and down. Very soon, the era of oil will go. And it will be a very humiliating moment. When a German will now go to Igbo man and say, Igbo, please, I know my papa them will offend you. It's not going to be also our children. Igbo, don't be offended. My papa them offended you. You know we are not the one now. And the same way Igbo is crying now. Nigerian, please, it is our papa them that did Igbo coup. It's our normal there. You know we are not the one now. I fell for it. Because they told me this is a new generation of Igbo. That is why I followed them to do Biafra. But I see, to make the nose of the dog to be white, very difficult. We are coming. We have not even started. But I'm trying to help you. Because that is what you will be doing. And now, we don't want our children to do this. For anybody. That is why we are trying to awaken your consciousness to understand that these hours of bountiful harvest for Nigeria oil boom, which is drying up gradually, master and control your own community order of the merchandise. That is what I'm trying to make you see. But I'm going to create different scenario till you get it right. This is not the job of one man. It's a community affair. You can do that in your house. It's a community affair. So at the end of the day, the Igbos understand this truth. They hijack the market. Like I said, before I digress. If the Igbo pulls out of buying and selling, even in 15 years, Nigeria will not recover. Is it the Hausa that is a mind is on Ruga that will go and import motor pass for you? Hausa that is targeted on Ruga, taking every land in every community by force because they are majority. Is it the one going to do importation for you? Or is it Abo man that is waiting for December so you come and show us canvas and raining clothes? They are the one to do importation for you. My brother, wake up and and so why the merchandise are doing all these things? Remember the Venice of merchants, the merchants of Venice. He borrowed money to somebody who is from Venice, and he is not from Venice because he's an Hebrew man. He was in Venice. He ripped up Venice people from Hebrew, wherever he came from, and bought almost all Venice. The greed was too much. He needed a pound of flesh for a poor man who could not pay. William Shakespeare was actually pointing us somewhere. Only those who saw this revelation are benefiting from it today. And most people who enjoy this order of the merchandise in Nigeria are not even appreciated. They are now becoming like the merchant of Venice. And that is why they come, they talk down on you, they are the jagaban, the manipulators, even in that order in our own community. Is it not what happening in merchants of Venice that is happening in your land? You wake up, one Igbo man that cannot pay one room is in your community. Before you know, you buy half of your community. I'm not talking about the extended conspiracy on how they get there, but I'm telling you about the grassroots development movement that led them to that place. And no matter how they run it, if you don't understand how it starts, how will you go and intervene in the upper realm where these people operate? You see, that is where Nigerian problem comes from. When any issue erupts, the Nigerian police will be fast, or the Nigerian army will be fast to tell Nigerians, encouraging them, do not worry, fellow Nigerians. We can assure you that we are on top of this matter. And that's the problem. You cannot solve any problem by being on top. Because anybody on top of water don't know what is happening under the water. To solve the problem, you need to go under the water. And so I beg Nigerian police and other security agents, stop being on top of any matter. Go under any matter. You will see that problem will not be exist. But of course, you have what it takes to go under the matter. That is for that anyway. And now, coming back to the order of the merchants, our topic say, we must learn to economize our economic space. That is the merchandise order. And now this is what I'm begging you to do. Number one thing we need to do there is cultural tourism. Let's start from somewhere. Somebody say cultural tourism. How will it make us rich? A lot of people go to Dubai for tourism. A lot of people travel different countries around the world on tourism. Many countries are sustained by tourism. Even some African countries. They will take some acres of land, start throwing animal. Oyibo will go there and be videoing in to look at. I saw the Oni of Ife, if I'm not mistaken. They were looking for ancient bandre of Ile Ife. And the way I saw the video online, they were making mockery of Oni of Ife. Do you understand? But this is the truth now. So you understand how the order of the merchandise function. A group of Yoruba people came and say they have discovered the ancient walls of Ile Ife. And now, we have never heard about that. And truly, it's laughable. But this is the brain now. The world has heard about the ancient walls of Benin, which even legacy is supposed to echo more than even the great walls of China. But the Benin, who have war that is known by the whole world, a war produced locally by the locals, a war that took the British Empire and other imperialists years to demolish. I wish they begin to look for the foundation of the ancient walls of Benin. I tell you, the whole world will troop into Nigeria to witness it. Because it's real. People are paying billions to go and watch the pyramids. Egypt is making so much billion on tourism, and we have such thing here. Is it Nigeria stopping you from exploiting it? Now they have allowed Yoruba to look for ancient war of Ile Ife. And most people that would begin to visit those tourist sites in the nearest future will be coming that, oh, there was a similar great war like that in Benin. Do we not have some pyramids in Udi? Why can't they commercialize it and let it become a tourist site? Or is it Nigeria stopping us from doing that? We have a lot of things we are allowed to die. These are cultural tourism sites. It can empower your people. And I know somebody from Abo will say, no, Abo people don't have anything. What do we showcase? Now let me tell you what is hidden in that town. There is a place known as Iyorogodo. And each time I pass that river and I look at that river, I feel somehow. Because Abo people do not know what they are losing. And I wish Obi of Owa will send people, Obi of Agbo, His Royal Majesty, Denyi Obika Bekuzie, will send people to begin to look into that river. I'm talking of Iyorogodo, Iyakon, Iyekben, Iyimeri George, Iyindiahun Leumene or Rafi, Agbo Ibahon. I need them to look into it. In those days, when I was young, there was a cinema hall in that river. It belongs to the king. And when I grew up, the cinema house was not functioning again. And I asked my grandmother, I said, why did they stop using this cinema hall? They said there is mermaid in that water. That the number of mermaid in that water is unbelievable. You see that small river in that Iyorogodo, if you know Abo, ask Julius Berger that constructed that bridge. As I was told, when they fix the bridge in the morning, in the night it will disappear. The next morning, they continue. And it is said a lot of sacrifice was offered before the beings, the creatures that lives in that water, allowed them to build that bridge after so many sacrifices. And it looks like a fairy tale, right? Now, let me tell you something why I believe them strongly. At about the age of 17, no, not up to 17, it should be 13 or 14, I went to a section of that river on another angle. We call it Iyakon. To bathe. Normally, we go there to bath after school, fetch water, It's a major source of water supply for the community. And then something usually happens. When it want to begin to rain and we're in the river, we run out of the river as fast as we can, fetch water and leave. Because a lot of erosion is going to come from both sides of the town. Remember, Abo is a low land between two hills. And so the amount of volume of water that will come there, if it does not pick you out, you may not see clean water to go home with. And so the moment the weather change and it looks like it want to rain, I was far, 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 far inside that river. And normally we have trees on the river. I climbed, and then as I saw the weather was changing, I jumped into the river. I went to what we call underground, swimming very fast to get out of the water and fetch before the erosion from gutter start coming into the river. And as I dive inside the water, running to the dry land, I saw a young girl at my age under the water, swimming into the water. And as I swim past the girl under, the girl swam past me on top. I turned and I looked at the girl, and she turned and looked at me. She was tying scarf, wearing singlet and a short knicker. And I was like, there is no young girl in my community who can swim like this at this age. And so who could this girl be? I came out of the water immediately to look for the person. I didn't see the person. And that day, I know what I saw. I was seeing mommy water for more than 1 month. I know what I saw. I couldn't tell anybody until I told my mother. This is what I saw in the river. And then some prayers, some traditional things. That is when I stopped seeing. They didn't tell me, and I lie not. You think Victor Wife will sing, if you see mommy water, oh. If you see mommy water, oh. You think he was bluffing, he was giving you melody. But Abo people don't know that Iyorogodo harbor mommy water. Somebody should tell them what happened during the supposed Nigerian Biafra war. All the bomb then stole shoot for Abo. Why not no feel the impact? But these are stories Christianity will not allow us to talk, because it's fetish. It's unbiblical. Biblical that has been edited, or biblical that has been shortchanged. Which biblical? The earlier we open up to the truth, the better for all of us. And so, if our people will bring up these ideas and begin to commercialize culture and tradition regarding all those processes, believe me, we'll be making money for ourselves. Igbo people know this. That is why they have stolen your ark watcher. They take our culture and tradition, our uniform. They now say, oh, it's Igbo culture, it's Igbo culture. Very soon, they will claim the Ada and the Abba of your palace. And they will say, no, it's Igbo, oh, it's Igbo, oh. So you, now leave them, let them go. No, you don't leave them, let them go. Do you know how much they make on different websites they create, showcasing costume, crafts, art and culture that are not theirs? and put it their name. And each time you visit it, they cut a little penny from you. And that little penny, that little drop of water is causing mighty ocean. And when I come here, some people will be insulting me. And when you do any work in their progress, they begin to follow that guy, showing like. They incorporate you. They are the one ripping your axe off. That is why I try to make you understand. It is not money that is driving me here. But I'm giving you the money so that you will begin to work towards it. That is a way to control your economic space. This is the time to challenge anybody. Our red cap. Somebody say Igbo cap. Who told you it's Igbo cap? If they ever have a king, what year? One of the earliest king I can remember, even in 2012, we have a king sitting down on the throne, the palace in Abo, in Owa, in Ute, to mention but a few, in Mbiri, in Emohon, in all this kingdom. Even in 2012, I have the record, did I say 2012? In 1200, I have record of all the monarchs and all their names, most of which I can't even pronounce, because they are not Igboitic. That is one way. We look at the issue of traditional craft, of course. We look at food and beverages. Now, let me go this way. If you go to some restaurants, you hear soup like afam, edikaiko, ofowere, ewedu, efo, fura dinunu, and so on and so forth. These are few food coming from different ethnic groups. The point is that they have learned to commercialize their culture and tradition. I went somewhere to work in Eche, River State, almost 3 years ago. And in that remote village of, that should be Ososo, the home base of Amadioha. And then in the morning, I said I want to eat. Everybody was directing me to a particular joint. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a party kind of person, but I love party anyway. And so, but I start eating biscuits, throwing on the mouth, but staying there longer time endangers my health. I need solid food. And so I have to go to that joint. Do you know what they were selling there? It is Amala joint and a Wedu joint. Inside the Che, if you see different kind of ero, bomo, shake. If you see the group of those community people lining up, we have to book food now. And I smiled. See Yoruba in Eche land making millions. And I'm sure you have Yoruba restaurants everywhere around the world. They want to test Amara. They want to test the Wedu. I think Yoruba don't have sense. But then come to Abo. In the Abo, Ebo Fujujure. Where is our Ofe Ujuju? Where is our Ofe Osumada? Where is our Ofe Olioma? Huh? Where is our Ofe Kaka? We are shaking pepper soup. Nobody get pepper soup. Everybody get pepper soup. But you have a unique food and beverages. You are not showcasing it. They claim it. People who don't have it claim it. So how about people? Don't you know that you can commercialize those your health benefits food you have? Is it not applicable to other people? When you're going to, maybe go eat native soup. Maybe it is afam and edikoiko. It has become of economic value. And since they are natural to your people, most of the items to prepare that food will be found in your community. And then we begin to farm Olioma, which is gone. Efuroruru is gone. Ujuju is gone. Do you know, as old as I am now, if I see the Ujuju leaf, I don't recognize it again. But I used to know it. Moving away from my territory for a very long time, I don't know it anymore. And when I see some leaves in the forest that looks like Ujuju, and I begin to call my sister or my relative, I say, is this the original Ujuju? Yet I can't trust their judgment because the camera may have enhanced its image. And I may go and study it again. My brother, get sense. Get sense. Because this is the time for us to commercialize our community. Nobody will want to run away. And even though we're running away, we are running away to expose our culture, heritage for something good. Are all the eateries in Nigeria not displaying European cuisine, as they call it, Chinese cuisine? Don't you have Chinese restaurants? You think they are Mugu? Where is our African restaurants? No, tell me a restaurant we can go to. Then we sort out every African food or every Nigerian food, but none. Will you trip in there? And why will you trip in there when our food have been demonized already? They never tell you about the health benefit. And then those who will discover it, they will capitalize it. The people who control the order of merchandise already, when I finish this broadcast, they will tap into it. But the people who this message is meant for, they say, move on. They are looking for the one that will make you laugh. Continue. And then the last aspect of it, textiles, culture, dressing, even to dancing and music. All of them, you commercialize it because they are doing it already on your expense. There is one Okwan, a musician. He sang a song. You should know that song. That song has placed Ndokwa people on a different light musically. We used to be people of great musicians. Where are they? As I speak today, let's go back to South region now. Or should we switch back to Bendel State or Midwestern region? We have produced 90% of all the unique musicians Nigeria has ever known. And we are still in the line of music industry, but you will never know who they are. I won't mention their name. There are a lot of musicians today, you see them dragging. Igbo will say, no, it's Igbo boy. It's Igbo boy. Yoruba will say, no, it's Yoruba boy. Oh, it's Yoruba boy. Outside, it's only outside that is not dragging that one anyway. You should know who I'm talking about. It's a Bake boy. It's Abo boy. It's making waves. And I was watching them dragging the boy. This is a Bini man from Orion. A car side of it, to be precise. I won't call his name. And then let's look at the record. Starting from Savito Waifu. And then we go back to people like Sonny Okusu. And then you begin to talk about Majek Fashek, Urusuliki, Mandatos, Raskimono, Edna Ogusi. How many am I going to call? And then if you transcend it down to the current day salsa, you begin to sing, what is the name of this girl that sing, Mwibo Kwenu? Hey, Christy Asian. It's a Calabar woman, but he will claim it. Because they use her, she had a product that promoted Igbo culture, and Igbo people commercialize on it, tap on it, go and type Chrissy Queen, Asian. And of course, partly Igbo, partly Calabar. But that will not stop the fact that he's a Calabar person, because that is where the father comes from and the mother is Igbo. But she sang very well, beautifully. They were the true people who believed in one Nigeria. All these people I have mentioned believed in one Nigeria until we saw Nigeria was compromised. We would not have known this, except the Igbo greed, who is forcing them now to claim everybody. It makes us to begin to suspect. That is why we are here. We were trying to save our people. But we discovered that the person where they hungry, one day chop who hungry person. Is it possible? You they hungry. The thing where you want chop hungry pass you. Is it possible? That is why we are here. So where are our musicians? Where is our musical instrument? Where is our culture and tradition? Where are all those things? Oyibo now they dance masquerade in case you don't know. Tomorrow now they go tell you say in 1963-04, before the invention of Christian era, there was a man known as Luca Mountains. He formed the Alafia. They will change the name from Arafia to something else. And you'll be googling it. Oh, Oyibo used to dance masquerade. You fail to commercialize your community, which comprises of all these things I've been mentioning. Come to think about it. Everybody go and learn handwork. That is the purpose of this message. My Southside people, go and learn handwork. 7 years of bountiful harvest of oil boom is coming to an end. And when we go to another 7 years of famine in the absence of oil boom, my brother, you go sell everything we remain. You see all this smart way with the make, you know go day again. You will become a qualified order of slave with no hope to rise, even in 1,000 years to come. Don't you see where they keep Africa? It's going to take Africa a very long time to move away from the order of slave, which is the position we currently occupy before the global community. I am humble to tell you this morning. The essence of this, my message, is that South people, go and begin to learn work. Go and begin to get involved in export and in exportation. Go and begin to get involved in buying and selling. Go and begin to display your own cultural heritage. Go and begin to monetize everything monetizing. Go and begin to do exploits. Somewhere along the line, we'll find our way back. But don't think it will not come without price, without challenges. That is where we will come in. And maybe in my next broadcast, I will tell you some of the challenges you should expect when you choose to walk on this path. Others have paid the price, and now they are reaping the benefit. And if we have to pay the price, it's not going to be as long as they did, because the knowledge at their disposal then is not as much as we have. And so if we are sincere enough with ourselves, in less than no time, we would have paid the price, because life is about sacrifice. You have to give in order to receive. And then we leave it at that. I'll go to my comment section and see if there is any insulting person, because everything we see somewhere along the line threatens the Igbo Biafra people. Maybe they have insult for me so that we can go from there. Who do we have here? I have Abdul Salam Muhammad. I greet you, my brother. Good morning from here. I have Ikechukwu. He say Igbo unification. What did he say? Completely unstoppable. Igbo unification is completely and now Ikechukwu, that is the problem. The Igbo unification is a problem. The Igbo unification project is worse than Biafra agitation. Though Biafra agitation has been criminalized and is dragging other tribes into something they don't know. We will continue to antagonize that process to leave a question mark for the next generation of our people. And so whether by your capacity today you are able to shut us down, they will have a reason to review you people. You don't understand. You can't win it all. Igbo unification is complete. Unity beggar. You should be ashamed. Ikwere say they are not Igbo. Ikechukwu, why don't you deal with it? And I am not Igbo. We migrated from Benin, Asabo man. Why don't you deal with it? But you are everywhere in our village, pregnanting our sisters to born people that will look like us. And you will use them to come and fight us. We are taking record of all our sisters that are born for Igbo people. But that is where the problem comes from. And we can only appeal to our brothers who marry Igbo women. Be careful of your wife and your children. No, your wife. Before your wife will turn your children against your father's household. So Ikechukwu, we shall see how Igbo people will unite us. We are struggling with the idea. We'll continue to present the truth. You can conquer Ebonyi people. They say they are Igbo. You have intimidated Onitsha people. They say they are Igbo. That will be the last victory you will enjoy. Igala people, you can't stop them in the southeast. The one you conquered Akwa Ibom in the guise of Aruchukwu, that is where the victory ends. And Idoma people, when they come for you people, you will fight enemy on all fronts. And you're crossing to Asaba, collecting the land of the widows, because many of their men are not at home. They have children in diaspora. When we do the work of provocation, we will waking them up with this your madness. We shall see. Because you know, after the war, Igbo people caused, they killed more than 90% of Asaba men. The remaining men are trying to come up. They ran abroad. You people take the opportunity and be collecting their land. We are looking at you. That is the unification you are doing. You control the order of merchandise in our land. You sell drug to our youth. You sell fake drug, making money because you are controlling the order of our community. And you see, Ikechukwu, that is why we are telling our people to wake up before the damage becomes too obvious. So Ikechukwu, continue with Igbo unification. We are uniting. Continue. Onyoshi. Biafra fail. You people switch to Igbo unity. And the truth is, many Igbo people don't know what happened. We move in Biafra agitation. They compromise it. We move in de facto customary government. They compromise it. They ask me, let's go for Igbo unity. That will make it faster. I say, I go nowhere. You're not going anywhere. You can't unite your father and your mother in criminality. Ikechukwu Emmanuel, you will learn in a hard way. Don't worry. Don't worry. I have Izu here. What did he say? He said, are you a kidnapper? Or what does he say? Onyibe? Always the uncompleted building. Yapping trash. Yes, whatever you say, it's okay. But from this uncompleted building, I will commercialize it. This uncompleted building, I will commercialize it for the sole purpose of destroying your own order of merchandise in my territory. You know, if I had come out with fancy clothes, beautiful places, looking like a rich man, all your lies against me would have been true. Buhari gave me money, Wike gave me money, Ojis Okalu gave me money, Willie Obiano gave me money, I stole IPOB money, I am a criminal, and so many things. And even with all the money I collected and I stole, I'm in an uncompleted building. What a marvelous God. What a wonderful God. He has done marvelous things for me. You see? So, but I know how you people function. So you are not of any concern to me, Izu. But let Igbo people be showing madness. Number one, the last ally you can get as a stand now is the people of South. It's unfortunately we circle you and you made yourself an enemy of the people of South. To fight Yoruba now is not enough for you. To fight Hausa now so that you go to Aso Rock is not enough for you. Now you are making mockery of us. And now we know how you have used us and dumped us. You will not do it again. Igbo will not do it again. And so each time as Igbo person, you are yapping, you are preparing, buy enough private jets. Go back and look at the map of the South. And then let's see if that narrow corridor will save you out of that place. Let us see how you are going to expand. That is why we are telling our people, any Igbo man in your community, as a South man, you need to beam your satellite on them. Because these people are up to no good. If I come out here and curse Yoruba people from morning to night, no Yoruba person will talk. And if any of them, out of pain, talk by mistake, I'm sure Yoruba people will go and advise them. And if you watch any Yoruba that will challenge me when I curse Yoruba people, watch closely. That Yoruba have Igbo blood or is sponsored by Igbo people. If I come here now and begin to curse Hausa, no Hausa will even talk to me. Igbo cannot buy Hausa man. Except Abuki pregnanted their mother in one of these baby factory and they keep the child. And even the one that have Abuki blood will not even respond to me. This is dignity. This is self-respect. But when you talk any history, even without mentioning any tribe, if you don't sing the praise of the Igbo before the end of it, as a Nigeria, Igbo lunatic must come and insult you. This is not of any concern to them. They are busy looking for who hit them. Izu have forgotten that Nnamdi Kanu has swear for all Igbo people that if in 2015 he don't give Igbo people Biafra, that God should destroy all of you. And God is gradually answering that prayer through people like Izu. And I hope you are ready, because karma is upon you. Izu, you people are killing yourself in the Southeast. And you think Ikuri man that love life will come and join you in that your hopelessness? You people are killing yourself in Igbo land. You think Abo people that simply say Inhi Igbo Nyokwa will come and join you? Did you get it? Inhi Igbo Nyokwa. You don't kill the person you will mourn. And you people are killing your people and still mourning them. That ground will soon vomit you. The only thing you can do now is insult. And your power of insult is reducing already. What a shame, Izu. Let's see if there is any other person there. Because I love, that is what we do. I see Iyoni greeting from here. Is it Ugiagbe? Ugiagbe, I greet you. Good morning from here. Good morning, Ugiagbe. Let's see. Please drop your, I see Prince Bruno, season greeting, Prince Bruno. I see Aslem Chinonso. Let's see what Aslem Chinonso is say for merging the Eka language is an Abo dialect classified under, oh, this one should have been, should have been very fine. So many history there. So all of you who commented, I will look into your comment later on because of our time. A car is a car. A car is not Igbo. Because if what I think you are trying to say is that Aslam, if what Aslam Chinonso is trying to say is that a car is classified under Igbo, that means they are proving me right. Because Igbo people call man Nwoke, and Eka people call man Ukehe. Igbo people call woman Nwanye, and Eka people call woman Okboho. Though there are similarities in what we say. But 40% of Eka dialect is adopted from Bini language. And another 40%, for instance, is adopted from Igbo dialects. And then the remaining 20%, let's go by this ratio, it's our own dialects combined with rich cultures that we trust and envy in the past and form our language. And so Bini person don't understand the car, neither does Igbo person understand the car, except we come to the level where they can understand. But amazingly, we understand both sides. Just that we pretend as if we don't understand. You get the point? If you don't get the point, deal with it. Fellow remaining Igbo people, drop your insult, I will be there. And I hope you don't lose sight of my teaching. Control the economic space. Rather, commercialize the economic space of your community. Get involved in every buying and selling in your community. Get involved in every buying and selling in your community. Take charge of the order of the merchandise. See you tomorrow. We'll continue from where we stop.